Hey, good morning everybody. I'm glad you're here. Another beautiful day. I'm trying to make the most of it while we have summer, because once winter comes, things get a little chilly and dicey here in northern Illinois. Around the Chicago area, we're not called Chicago's not called the Windy City for nothing. So anyways, hi. I'm Rita Hickman, body-mind expert, shiatsu massage therapist, and specialist in helping women like you who are dealing with narcissistic relationships and trying to figure out how to survive them or cope with them or heal from them. So today, one of the things that we're going to be talking about is a belief that you have, a belief that you carry that gets you, not even attracts, but more like allows narcissists in your life. You know, because it's a really big world. And you sit there and you wonder, how did the narcissist always end up in my life? There's actually kind of a good reason for that, a very good reason. So when I was a kid, I actually was fairly successful, because I was scared of my narcissist, terrified. And it allowed me or pushed me or motivated me to really be a high achiever, to have great grades, to go the extra mile, all of that stuff. In fact, it was a really big deal when I realized in college that D meant diploma. It didn't mean anything else. As long as I passed, that's what mattered. So when I was a kid, I actually thought, I've got this. I had a certain level of confidence, like probably you do. A certain level of confidence. You know you're nice. You know you're a good person. You know you think about other people. You know you're thoughtful and sensitive. You know you're not going to take all your anger out on, whoever's handy. You think twice before you do things. Exactly. And the problem that I had when I was young was that because I didn't have the social emotional skills or the relationship skills because of how I was raised, it meant that it was very hard for me to find friends. It was very difficult for me to find friends because I had like this aura around me, like, you know what, she's got issues, maybe we better stay away from her. So even though I knew that I was smart and funny and interesting and curious and capable, I held this belief that that people out there weren't evolved enough to be able to have meaningful relationships. And or at least people out there weren't evolved enough to have meaningful relationships with me, someone who had some trauma in their past or difficulty in their past. And so this is what happens when you think that the world is exactly like how you grew up. It means that you don't hold a higher expectation for relationships. My expectation for relationships was I was screwed up. Nobody would be able to understand me. Nobody would be able to see the deeper core of me, that people just were not capable. And so because of that, you stop looking. You take what you get. You make the best of it. You work hard to make everything good, knowing that this is what it's going to be. No matter where you go, there you are. It's all your fault, or whatever we would believe. And in reality, and actually that's a mindset that most people carry. Most people carry the mindset that this is it, that things aren't going to change, that today's going to look just like tomorrow, that love and happiness aren't really possible. I mean, look at the divorce rate. And when someone magical like a narcissist will come into your life, it'll, give you that boost, that hope. And then they turn into just like the other people, the people who weren't capable of, having healthy, happy relationships. And so there's a belief, especially if you had a narcissist in your childhood, there's a belief that other people are not capable. They just aren't capable. And then when you're older and in a narcissist relationship, when you're older, the narcissist likes to tell you that it's you, that you're the one that isn't capable. And it's very confusing because there's this core of knowing that, you are self-aware, you are functional, you are creative and interesting and smart and nice, how could this be you? How could it be your fault? And actually, it's not. The main thing that gets in your way is not realizing that it's a really big world and that there are a lot of people in this world. And of all of these billions of people in this world, that there are people capable of relationships, people capable of seeing past your issues or wounds or struggles or stress. They're capable of being a partner with you in some way, whether it's a partner as a therapist or a partner as a coach or a partner as a friend or a partner in any sorts of ways, coworker, acquaintance, that they can be a partner to you. You have to believe that those people exist. Because otherwise what happens is then we start walking around the world and we assume everybody does not have the capability, that they are not, able to think on a higher level. And it's true considering how we live our day-to-day life. People don't take the time to look past their own thoughts, feelings, and emotions to see anybody else. Empathy is at a minimum. But that does not mean that healthy relationships and people capable of healthy relationships and people capable of compassion and understanding don't exist. Sometimes we have to find people and help them evolve into that version of themselves, help them become more sensitive, become more empathic, share our stories with them. Other times they've been through the exact same things that you have and they get it. Usually you'll find those people in the healing professions, the higher level healing professions. There'll be psychologists, there'll be energy healers, there'll be body workers, coaches, things along those lines. They've done their work. But remember, that's still sort of a small percentage. So one of the major beliefs that get in your way is not believing that better relationships are available out there and that people capable of having a good relationship with you are out there too. So how do we change this? Well, it really starts with the belief. It starts with the belief that this is what you want out of a relationship. People who have done some of their work, who are kind, who communicate, who have self-respect. These are the sorts of things that you're looking for in people. And so you respect and like yourself enough that you're going to wait and see where this person lands. You're going to give them a little bit of space. You're like, okay, are you on the friendly side? Are you on the need a little bit of support and we can support one another? Or on you know what, find somebody else to go through your wound healing with because you're way more messed up than I want, to have in my life. So when you start setting boundaries for yourself, the sorts of people that you want to have in your life, and how do you find them? Narcissists are everywhere. So how do you find healthy people? You test them out. It's like an interview process, actually. When someone's looking to hire, when a good company's looking to hire for a job, they're looking for certain qualities. They're looking for certain abilities, skills, past, background. They do a whole check. They want to know who you are and what they're getting into if they're going to be into a longer relationship with you. And that's what you get to do for yourself, too. You get to check people out. You get to keep a little bit of distance until they demonstrate in many different ways that they are capable of having a good relationship. What tends to happen is someone looks good on the surface, or we want something, we project onto them that they've got what it takes, that they're the one, and so we rush into it to get our needs met, and then we get blindsided because they weren't the one. When you start to realize, when you start to get better at meeting your own needs, then you're able to sort of, check people out first. You're able to do some history on them. You're able to have a few experiences. You're able to go out for coffee or dinner a few times, but still understanding that you're checking out whether you want to let this person in to your inner circle. That's a big piece of boundaries. Not where you tell somebody, this is the line, don't cross it. It's when you set the line for yourself of what you want in your life, and then you keep looking for it until you find it. And you stay aware to the people that you're engaging with, and you watch and you look and you see. And only when certain things have been met for you, let's say they respect your boundaries. Let's say they're able to manage their emotions. Let's say they don't have hair trigger tempers. Let's say that they don't throw you into chaos or blame you for things. You know, you get to look for these qualities and only let people who meet those sorts of qualities really into your life, okay? And you get to take a little bit of time to do it. In fact, most relationships, they say, give it a few years before you decide to get married. And that can be true for all sorts of relationships and friendships. Give it a little bit of time. Do small tests. Take small steps. Make sure that you are a good fit. And when you start doing that, you will have fewer narcissists in your life, because narcissists really are everywhere. And it's like a sieve, you know, different layers of sieves that sort out the different particulates. You know, some people get through the first sieve, you know, but they can't make it through the second one. You know, until you get finer and finer qualities that have the ability to come through all of the different, you know, strainers and sieves that you have around your life, so that by the time they get into your life, you know that you can trust them. You know that they've got your back, and that they'll respect you and they're worth your time. You know, and when you do that, narcissists don't want to work that hard, and so they go and find somebody else. Quality people understand it, and they have their own needs met, and they, you know, have a good idea on how to do this, and they're doing the same thing that you are. They're putting these things in place. They're watching and observing. They're checking things out. They're making sure that somebody's a good fit before they let them into their heart, before they let them into their vulnerability, okay? So when you start respecting yourself on that level and realizing that these people do exist, nice people exist, you just have to look for them. You have to look for them, and sometimes you have to shape them a little bit. But if you realize that they exist, then you're in good shape and you're on the right path, okay? So this is what I want you to do today. I want you to look around at the people that you know, and I want you to categorize them, let's say, into 3 or 4 different categories. You get to come up with the categories are. They could be flaming narcissist, or nicest person I've ever met, proven, or got some issues, need to work with it, or maybe we'll keep them at a distance, but we can have an acquaintanceship. You know, have a couple different boxes and start looking at people with a finer discernment. Instead of one or the other, yes or no, I want you to start realizing that people come in all sorts of shades. They come in all sorts of flavors and abilities and skills and times. And if you do that, you'll start to see the gray. And you can decide, okay, I'm willing to take this mix of yin and yang, but I'm not willing to take this mix of yin and yang because it's a little bit too yang. You know, it's a little too masculine maybe, or a little bit too feminine maybe. You get to decide, okay? So start using discernment and practice. Practice with the people you already know, and practice with this discernment. If you look on television and you see people, kind of give a read which box they might fit in. When you take that pause, when you take that beat, that's how you're able to see who is more narcissistic and who isn't, and who you want to let in and who you don't. There's a story about Steve Jobs when he was being criticized when he came back to Apple and was coming out with stuff. A journalist asked him, you know, if he knew a very specific technical point in about his product. And the one critical thing that Steve Jobs did is he paused. He paused to gather his thoughts. He paused to determine what he was going to say and how he was going to say it. It's not that he didn't not say it, it's that he paused. And that's exactly what you need to do in your life. You need to pause a little bit with your words, with your thoughts, with your feelings. Take a little bit of a step back. Pause and look at the people around you and see them for who they are, for reality, their unique mix of issues and greatness. And from that place, you decide who you want to let into your life. Not from a place of need and pain and suffering and woundedness and overwhelm, but from a place of, you know what, I really only want to hang out with people that have the ability to be kind and level, you know. And when you do that, that's how narcissists stay out of your life and how you're able to get good, healthy people into your life, okay? So, I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're stuck, we have a couple options. I'm partnering with a book, a narcissist book. I've got a small group coaching program that I do that's super affordable. It's like $147 for 8 weeks, something like that I partnered with. And or if you want one-on-one coaching, message me. We'll set you up with a strategy call. Don't worry about time, don't worry about finances, because we'll come up with a plan that actually works for you. Something that works with your budget, something that works with the time you have available, with the issues in your life, with what you're specifically working with. We'll come up with a plan. So just message me, it's no problem. I'll send you a link to apply, and once you apply, we'll set up a coaching call and get your strategic plan in place, at least so you have an idea. You know, it's not all about coaching with me. Sometimes it's also about all these other wonderful resources. Or, you know, if finances are an issue, then we say, okay, I can support you this much through the process, and here are all these other resources that will help you out, okay? You're not going to be trapped, and we'll figure something out to get you where you want to go. I think that's it. So I hope you enjoy this beautiful day. I know I'm going to, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.